Mindfulness is a state of mind achieved by focusing our awareness on the present moment, while calmly acknowledging and accepting our environment, sensations, thoughts, and feelings. There is no pressure to achieve anything during this mindful moment, and don't worry about doing it perfectly. Thoughts, worries, plans, and responsibilities will inevitably enter your mind, and your attention may wander off. Let it happen, and allow yourself to enjoy a moment without pressure, expectation, or judgment. This session will focus on the artwork called Aberdeen by William Daniell, which is part of the Aberdeen Art Gallery and Museum's collection. But to begin with, let's tune into our surroundings. Notice how your feet are planted firmly on the ground or on the surface below you. And if you are seated, notice how you are supported by the chair. Take notice of any background noises such as other voices or any movement that might be happening around you. Then let those noises and movements gently drift through your mind. Take a deep breath in and out. Now look closely at the artwork in front of you. It is a scene of a busy Aberdeen harbour in the 1800s, but perhaps you recognise parts of the modern harbour that are there today. Bring your gaze to the bottom of the artwork, where there is a horse and buggy and a couple of people out walking. Imagine the sound the horse's hooves make on the cobbled path, or the greeting that the people may call out to each other as they pass by. Bring your gaze up slightly to the expanse of water that stretches from one side of the paper to the other. The sea is as still as a mill pond, and upon it sits a variety of boats and ships of different sizes. Look closely at the tints of blue, grey, and yellow that depict the sea. The colours and tones appear so liquid you could almost dip your finger into the water. Bright white sails billow in the wind and are reflected in the water below them. Imagine the sound those sails would make in the breeze. What other sounds might you hear? Perhaps the sound of the water against the prow of the ships, or the far-off cries of seagulls, or perhaps people shouting to one another from their vessels. Take a moment to look closely at the boats on the water. What details do you notice? What do you see reflected in the water? Where do you notice dark shadows or brighter highlights? Your mind may have started to wander. So let's now bring your attention back and without judgment to focus on the white building with an orange rooftop at the right-hand side of the artwork. The light is reflected off the white paint of the building, making it shine in the sun. Behind it is a crowded skyline where the dark vertical lines of ship masts and church spires contrast with the cream-coloured sails and dusky pink rooftops. Now direct your gaze to behind the skyline, where there's a backdrop of rolling hills topped by a hazy sky blanketed in soft clouds and subtle sunshine. Allow yourself a moment to gaze at the sky and look closely at how the soft tones of grey and white are punctuated by hints of blue. Now let your eye travel back down through the artwork, across the skyline, through the ships, over the water, and back down to the people in the foreground. Imagine the artist who observed this scene. What sounds might he have heard? Perhaps he smelled the fish being taken off the boats, or the seaweed on the rocks warmed by the sun. He certainly seemed inspired by the subtle tones and soft light across the water and the harbour skyline. Allow yourself to imagine his impressions of Aberdeen Harbour, and for a moment, Let your gaze wander anywhere it wants to across the artwork. Then when you're ready, allow yourself a deep breath in, followed by a deep breath out. One more breath in and out. Thank you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed your mindful moment.